Hello, this is Mike Lively, and you are looking at shaders in Away3dlite. You know, once you get over the initial excitement of running things much faster in Away3dlite, you're going to want to add shaders to them, and that's what I've done in this program. This is a Flash Builder program, and I'm running Away3d in it. You can stop the animation up here if you want to, and you have a little selection box here that I created in Flash Catalyst. You can come along here and roll over and select different categories. Here's a simple shade, a flat shader. If you've done work with that, you can actually see the light bouncing off the different triangles here. Typical flat shader stuff. Here's a Phong shader color, Phong shader, pixel bender shader is a pixel bender transparent, and a vertex shader which doesn't do much. The best one as far as the shaders are concerned is a pixel bender transparent, and what I call the pixel bender normal shader, which actually uses two materials, you know, a normal map and a actual diffuse map, and that looks really good. And it's not using that much memory. And it's still running it really nicely around 24. Right now I caught it at 21 frames a second, but it's bouncing between 21 and 24 frames a second, which makes me pretty happy. So we're running at a pretty good clip right here. Now this was actually very easy to make in Flash Builder. Let me just go back and go through the code and show you how it was made. So we're in Flash Builder right now, and let me show you the application. I actually have the main application right here. And there's a class that I pull into Flash Builder. So this actually is the Away3 class that's running all the shaders. It's called the Example-Light class. I just pull that right into Flash Builder, instantiate it, and I run all my Away3d, and I talked it back and forth with constants that I put in the code. You want to make sure you use my version of Away3dlite because I've actually done a little bit of hacking to get the shaders working correctly. And if you come down here, so if you go to Materials and you click on Shaders, you can see all the shaders are there right there in the material, you know, flat, normal, pixel bender, Phong, vertex, and there's more. You can actually put as many shaders in as you want. I actually, you can, you know, with pixel bender, the sky's the limit. And I have a little value service object down here, and actually some more pixel bender classes that you can actually access and work with. So let's go ahead and take a look at a little more detail in the program. So I'll click here. This is the main program that's actually bringing everything in. And this is a Flash Builder program. So if you want to run Away3dlite in Flash Builder, you got to bring it into the Flash container. So if you've watched my videos before, you've heard me talk about the sprite visual element. And you actually pretty much just instantiate the class, and you bring it right into the Flash Builder element. You just add it as a child, and you actually can run this program right in Away3d. Let's show you how I did that. So I have this program that has all the shaders running. It's called Example-Light. So the first thing I do is at the top of my program, I want to initiate everything. So when you click, so when the program is created, then this initiation 3D occurs. Let's go into initiation 3D. So let's roll over and click on initiation 3D to go there. And it's pretty simple. All I do is I've instantiated my class right here, my test, I call it. It's EXLite. And I pretty much just add it to the sprite container. That's how I get all that 3D on the stage in Flash Builder. Isn't it amazing? Now I want to interact it with it, of course, and so I have to create this list box. And this list box I create in Flash Catalyst, and it actually works really well. And I have a change selection. So when I click on that, I change the different thumbnails. But how did I get the different images in the different boxes? Well, I created those components in Flash Catalyst, and I went and I programmed them so they'll receive the correct data. All that data comes from an XML file. So if I go to Assets and I go to Data, there's my XML file right there. Click on that, and it pretty much just has the name of the shader and the image that I'm pulling in. And I have this images folder where all my images are kept. So there's all my images right there, and that pretty much is referenced by the XML data. I use a data wizard pretty much to bind all that data to the drop-down list right here, so you can see it's bound, and I just drag and drop the XML on it, and it's bound. So, and reprogram the containers so they know to talk to so they know to pull the different images into the right place, and I was done. Now let's take a look at the pixel bender part of it, the actual shading part of it. So if I open up the EXLite program, I actually see everything is done in a sense through a switch case. So what I do in the program, I'm actually using the basic template engine, and in the basic template engine I have only two methods that I'm interested in, and that's the on initiation method, and the other one is the on pre-render method at the bottom of this code. So this is the only two methods I really have to worry about programming. So the basic template is really nice in that sense. And then all I do is I create my different pixel bender or my different shader materials, and I have them all in a switch case, so whenever I click on a different item in my particular box, it sends me to the switch case item, and here's the switch case, and it just generates the different materials. Whatever shader I have, here's a flat shader, here's a Fong shader, and as you just go through the switch case, I just put all the different materials that are created there. And then once those materials are created, then what happens is they are stuck onto this loader, which loads in my 3D model. In this case, it was an MD2 model, and I put the material on it, and then I load it right onto the scene. And that scene is loaded into the view, and the view is actually added to the main program by adding it to the sprite visual element. So when you click on the different elements in the list box, let me show you what happens. So let's go to that. It's highlighted, so let's click on click. So roll control click. You go to my selection. So what I do, I actually stop the program. I destroy everything on the stage. And then what I do, I actually recreate everything. So I have this create again. Now that's my hack. I actually created that piece of code. So if you try to run this in regular Away3dlite, it won't work. You have to have that hack. And you just go to my Google code and download everything. This is all provided for you on www.professionalpapervision.wordpress.com. Just go and grab the code and look at the video and play with it. And so with that, I actually create everything again, and I just actually stuck a little label element in here. Didn't do a whole lot of work here, just got my little label element here that shows me what I'm actually watching. So let's run the program one more time to show you how easy it was. And there you have it, and when you click on the different elements, the material is changed, and that's loaded onto the new model. You clear the stage each time you click. You create your different material from your particular switch key element. And then you just add that model to the stage. And right here you actually can stop the animation if you want to, or play it again. Now one more thing you're going to notice, this is the famous Away3D female bust. But there's one difference, right? You guys already noticed, right? She's wearing a bikini. Well, why? Because I have 9 kids, and when they're walking around the room, we don't want to see Dad working with a nude. We want to see Dad working with something that's clothed. And so as opposed to be calling weird, I actually put a bikini on the famous Away3D bust. Please forgive me. That's just part of the business. If you like it, I'll just go ahead and download the code. It's free, all covered under the MIT license. Modify it however you want to and go ahead and use it. Thanks for listening. This was Mike Lively, and enjoy shading in Away3D.